Hey, everybody. Welcome to Stages Podcast. I am Mary, and I am the baby boomer of the group. And in this podcast, Lorena and I bridge the generational gap between baby boomer and millennials.
Hey, I'm Lorena. I'm the millennial. And we also have our trusty producer, Zach, who's also a millennial.
Hey ho!
And a pirate.
I too am a millennial.
It's like, is this guy like from 2021 or 1920? Like, I don't know.
No, I'm just here for color commentary.
Yeah, just for some commentary. Well, today we're going to talk about something that I think is very informative of who Mary and I both are as people, like in our priorities of life. And it's just, we're just the general healthy living.
Right. I think so. I think I live a pretty darn healthy life.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for me, Lorena, like healthy living, to me, the biggest word in that is just all-encompassing moderation in everything.
So true. Good way to put it.
Right?
Just balance overall.
Balance overall in every aspect. Like, it's like if you're going to work out, then you can't go have like, a couple of cheeseburgers and milkshakes and ice cream at night, and which is okay to do, but it's just all across the board moderation.
Totally. I think that is so on point and something that like I definitely have been on a health journey. I feel like since the age of 15 is when I really started to think about real health. I guess healthy and how you're talking about it. Yeah. I mean, just because I had like bowel issues. So my mom took me to this Chinese doctor who she is the first person that did acupuncture, and she did like the blood testing on me, and then I followed the blood test diet and did like a regimen that she gave me for diet and everything to try and figure out what was wrong with me at the time.
Yeah. Did it help?
It did. I think I was too young to really take it seriously or think that food could be like medicine. I didn't realize how much food is medicine and food is your body, like food is your everything, until I lived in New York and I worked with a naturopath up there, and then really doing her regimen for like a full 6 months. I was just like, oh my gosh, everything I've ever been told and thought and done is a lie. And I wish I had known about this when I was dancing. Like,
Right?
But,
I mean, it is amazing. Like the food is such a medicine. It's just amazing.
And yeah, I feel like you're one of the OG yoga. Like, you were doing yoga at what age did you start?
I started doing yoga when I was like 19, 20 years old. So,
like way before there was a yoga studio everywhere.
Right.
Where did you go?
The first place I went was actually in South Lake, and it was the little rec center, and there was like 3 people in there, and it was this beautiful Indian woman that was, I think she was in her 70s, and like no one was in the class because who's going to go take a yoga class, right?
Yeah.
Way back then. And she was like amazing and in great shape and so peaceful and so zen. And, that's kind of when it all started for me. And I was like, if there's no other exercise, if I could choose one exercise to do, it would be yoga, hands down, for the rest of my life.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Right? It's just,
and then
like,
then you did.
And then I've actually carried on. And, I kept doing it, and I got certified in teaching yoga, and, love it, practice it every week.
Wow.
As a matter of fact,
So
Zach
what's
has,
like
done some yoga with me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't call myself good at it, but I enjoy it and I like trying. And, it's always one of my favorite things. Like when coming home was something that was like, something that I would do like in college or when I lived in China, we would always do yoga classes together. And it's always been so much fun.
Right.
Oh, that's like me and my mom. It's you and your mom.
Right?
That's amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it energetically clears something in you?
Absolutely 100%. I feel like you can totally just get real in tuned with your body instead of like
Yeah.
robotically doing it. Like just really get in tune with your body and being like, okay, like this stretch feels good. I can change a little bit here. It's just like being curious about your body and how it moves and no judgment. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't, lift my leg that high or whatever. It's like it's your body and so you honor it. And I really do. I feel a deep connection whenever I'm doing yoga.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you
Do
feel
you
that
do
too,
yoga?
Zach? Me? Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
definitely ebb and flow with it. Like, I don't know. My exercise regimens, they have to change. I can't like consistently do one thing consistently for a long time. I don't know.
You like the variety.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I still love a variety too. It's not like that's the one I do, a lot of other things too, but the yoga is the one I always go back to.
Come back to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely your thing. I would say, like, if somebody, I hope this never happens. If somebody held a gun to my head and said, "Name 3 things about your mother, or I'll shoot you."
Oh my gosh, Zach. As
uh,
Nerd would say, Toby.
The stakes
it's-
the stakes are high. Answer wisely.
one of those 3 things would definitely be yoga.
Mm.
I mean, seriously, it's like such an inseparable part of who you are, and like you've been to so many different yoga studios, and you do so many different types of yoga, like and it's interesting to see how it's evolved, like especially in America. Like you have these yogas that are like, oh yeah, like it's hardcore intense, like it's yoga, but it's kind of branded as yoga, but it's really more like aerobic exercise and
Like American yoga, like American
Yeah.
Chinese food. Or like, we just Americanize everything.
Yeah.
It's not
No one-
necessarily like what was originally good about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you're not going to have someone come out and say like, this is American yoga. Like, it'll still be branded as like yoga. But really my favorite, I mean, when I lived in Shanghai, at one point we had an Indian instructor come in and just do like some proper, like this guy had a PhD in yoga. I didn't even know that was a thing. And
Whoa. Yeah, what? For real?
For real. And that was a different special experience. It was like, wow, like my body I was stretching muscles that I didn't know that I had. And that's like what good yoga is, I think.
I agree 100%. Like stretching muscles that you didn't know you have, getting in tune with them. And I think too, it's so good for like all your little muscles. And, we always work our bigger muscles. And I think when yoga, you work the little ones. And so it keeps everything kind of in balance and healthy.
And aligned.
Yes.
What's your top like exercise of choice, Zach?
I think I'm like you. I've gone through a lot of different things. Like, I enjoy going to the gym, but I have periods where like for a month or two where I'll go jogging, or then like, I was into CrossFit for like a year, and, I like going to the gym, and I have like this, it's weird to describe. Mom's seen me do it 100 times. Like this video game that I play that's like,
yes.
you exercise and you're like leveling up and fighting monsters and stuff by doing sit-ups and things like that.
That's like your dream. That's got to be your top exercise.
it works. Everyone's got their own thing, you know.
Hey, it was
Whoa,
cool.
that's
I did it with
amazing.
I did it with
wanna
him
do
a couple
that.
of times. It was
Yes.
fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really fun, but I don't know. For me, I'm always going through different phases.
Mhm.
But it's important. Like no matter what, I try to exercise at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Mhm.
Should be more. Ideally, it'd be more, but that level is good for me.
Yeah. I feel like I've gone through so many phases too of just like I think with dancing competitively and then professionally, like it was just so intense, my body and fitness, and like trying to find the balance of like, I feel like a lot of dancers struggle with this of like punishing their bodies or like going, over exercising cheerleaders, things like that, because it's just like you're like your body's like constantly overstimulated with exercise, I feel. So it took me a long time to like get out of that never good enough, like pushing the limits physically mindset. And then like when I started surfing, it was like that's an exercise for the soul. Like this is something I'm
Oh,
never going to make competitive. I'm never going to make it like that's. And I realized because in New York, I would take yoga classes in the city, but it's like competitive energy, competitive, like brute strength and stuff like that. And it wasn't till in Rockaway, I started taking yoga with like this really string bean, like hilarious bald guy who was like all about the spiritual aspect of it, that I felt like, oh my God, like doing less is doing more for my body and my spirit and all this, coming
yes.
through that. But I don't know. This year has been really interesting in quarantine, trying to find the different ways to stay motivated. And most recently, I'm just like on a walking kick. Like I'm just going to walk every day. And that's literally the bare minimum. And I feel so good. I'm like, walking's where it's at right now for me. It's like, I don't know.
You have a great
I'm
place to
loving
walk
it.
too. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
because it's like a
beautiful.
mile this road, basically. So I've just been
Ah,
doing that, and I'm like, this is it. This is the money. Listening to the birds, just walking.
right? You're like, because you have like so many
But
trees and
so,
nature and horses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but are you listening to like a podcast or music or something when you walk, or you just unplug and listen to nature?
Yeah. Over the summer, I was like running for 2 months really consistently. Some of the
Yeah.
days, like on rest days, walking, and I would always have headphones for that. But I think the extra things like that, it stresses me out more, and like so many Zoom calls, so much being on the computer. I'm trying to have this new awareness where,
Mm.
yeah, I don't take my phone, I don't take any headphones. If I want to listen to anything, I do that when I'm home, and just taking that like
Mhm.
anywhere from 10 to 30 to 45 minutes where I'm like literally listening to nature and the birds and super aware of my surroundings. And it's been I I think it's made me more motivated to keep walking than when it's like, what am I gonna, like, constant stimulation? Like, what am I gonna listen to? Like, what's gonna keep my mind busy? It's like instead just being like, I'm here, God, in nature. Like, I don't know, show me
Right.
what, like, just something that's like centering and grounding and so needed. I think it's hard. Yeah. I've also been keeping my phone out of my room at night to sleep, and that I've been sleeping like surprisingly so much better too, which has been a whole interesting new health journey.
Wow, that's great for you because you're usually a night owl,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes,
Wow.
definitely. Uh-huh. Yeah, it
No,
helps the sleep for sure.
I love that you're out there, like, just not having just listening to nature. I think that's so important. I think, that
And
we've really gotten away
it's
with that.
yeah, it's like almost scary to do. Like the first couple days I felt a little bit weird, like I don't know, because it's just during quarantine, especially. I was just always put my earbuds in to go for a walk or whatever. But to be like No. I'm not going to accidentally leave my phone. I'm like definitely not going to take my phone. And right now it's spring. There's so many birds out. Like they're just writing me songs every day. It's great.
Right? It's so beautiful to listen to. I know we live on the lake and we have like ducks and geese and birds and so many birds and oh, it's so pretty to hear.
So I want to hear Mary about, before we started, Mary had told me that she's doing soul food diet plan. Tell me about that.
Okay, so my soul food diet plan is I mean that's just like eating food that your soul is craving, I think. Like everybody, for me, like I love, like one of my favorite soul meals is like Babe's chicken, just like chicken fried
like actual
steak and
soul food.
mashed potatoes, like actual soul food that you eat and it brings all this comfort to you.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I really listen to my body a lot, and like it just kind of tells me like, you know what? Wow, like you really could have like 2 scoops of ice cream, chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and I've never had a weight problem, but my body always kind of tells me. And then there's days I'm like, just eat green vegetables, just, eat something healthy and clean. And, so I just kind of listen to that. But there's nothing better to me, Lorena, than like some good old soul food.
Yeah. So have you always done that? Is that like a new, like conscious of like, I'm going to intuitive eat and like ask my body what it wants before I eat? Or is that something you've always kind of done?
I think it's something that I've always kind of done. We ate like growing up, my mom had us eating really healthy. We ate like just vegetables all the time and whatever was on the table, like that was what we were eating. Not like in today's society, like everybody's eating different things, my mom was like, this is what you're having for dinner, this is it. And she always cooked very healthy foods. And I don't know, I think I just kind of listened to my body, and I think it's just natural, innate that I do that. So
yeah.
I
love it.
Yeah, that's something you've always been really good with, Mom, is like I noticed it when we were living together. You would just say like, tonight I really need like some Brussels sprouts with a little bit of soy sauce and some slightly seasoned chicken with oat rice or whatever. Oat rice is not a thing, but
but it should be a thing.
It should be.
You heard it here first. Yeah.
I mean, my point was you were always very specific with like exactly what your body wanted or needed. And like I always thought like, wow, like that's incredible. Like you're so in tune with your body.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
not naming names, but that's such a contrast from other people that, you might cohabitate with.
Right.
Apple the cat.
Apple the cat is who I'm referring to. Plausible deniability. Thank you, Lorena.
Yeah, I knew it. It's a very Apple thing. Sloth life.
Yes.
That's the sloth life, guys. So what about you, Lorena? How do you eat?
I try and eat intuitively, as you're saying too. I definitely didn't. I feel like I've had to really get to know my body because I definitely have some sensitivities, and but this month I'm actually doing like a Whole30 kind of plan and cutting out dairy and gluten and all that jazz. And I like to live in balance, but for me, I think about once a year I need like a reset, like a focused 20 to 30 days where I'm like, all right, no sugar, or I'm going to do no gluten and dairy. I'm going to totally reset baseline of just not what I want, but literally just what my body needs, and to like feel that. And then it helps me stay on track long term. And I have enjoyed, like in quarantine, we can do stuff like that this year.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was on the road, like touring, like in 2019, I feel like I aged my body by 10 years just by like eating Taco Bell all the time, like no money,
So it was like
touring.
that.
Yeah. And just, I think that your food options are so limited. So I'm trying all these new things this year because, I can. I'm in one place and I can really focus on that. That will make me stronger when I go back into the world at like making a point to have healthy snacks with me, or, knowing where to cut things and being more intuitively connected to what my body needs and wants.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then kind of when you start eating clean, your body doesn't want anything else.
Yeah, totally.
Like
When I cut sugar, I'm just like, my body, I realize how much I don't want sugary things. When you cut it out, then I have like a sip of a Coca-Cola and I'm like, ugh, gross.
right.
Yeah, it's weird.
And you know what's funny is like I never drink Cokes. Like we don't have Cokes in the house, but every now and then, I don't know, like every 2 months, I'm like, man, I really want a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Especially in the summer in Texas. And it must be because you're sweating so much.
Maybe so.
Your body needs it. It's like, feed me that sugar.
Give me that sugar.
We're replenishing.
Exactly. But yeah, any other healthy tips? Anything else that you do?
I don't know. I'm not the person to give health advice. I think the mental spiritual aspect, like that's also something.
Yes.
I don't care like aesthetically. Like I've gained weight this year, lost weight, gained weight. I don't know. I can't be motivated to make healthy living decisions based on aesthetics. It's not enough because I like the taste of like cookies more than, or I like greasy food more than I like looking certain ways. It's hard.
Yeah.
So for me too, it's like I feel the more spiritually connected or like Christ-centered I am, and the more I am really in tune with that, like kind of your body is a gift and a temple, and honoring that gives me a lot more power with eating and walking and just kind of like exercising my body out of gratitude that I have it. And, as cheesy as that sounds, or like eating healthy because the food is available and like I'm worth that. I'm worth eating healthy, and kind of I think that aspect of it motivates me way more than any other mental games I've tried, like fear and loathing. Like that doesn't work.
Right. Exactly. I agree like 100%, right? I mean, it's too much. It's too much to like go on that strict diet. And I actually think that is like if people go on a strict diet for aesthetics, I just don't think it's ever long term.
It's for the spirit.
That's right.
Yeah. And one thing you said too, Lorena, like that's also something I've realized, like working out is not an obligation. Like actually it is a huge privilege that we have. Like if we have like the fact that we have the opportunity to move our bodies and like lift things and use our legs to move, like that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a gift that we should not take for granted.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, it's like we should be so grateful that we can move, and it's the best. So,
all right. Well, that is some good healthy speech right there, y'all.
Right on.
We love the healthy life. We hope y'all love the healthy life. Thanks for tuning in for this healthy conversation and community that we have here at Stages.
Absolutely. Like leave us some healthy comments below, guys.
Tell us what's your plan. What do you like to do? What do you eat? Like what's your philosophy? Because I think everyone has an individual health life philosophy. Like, let us know. We'd love to read it, take it into account, maybe use it in our own lives. So
Absolutely.
What resonates with you?
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
All right. Well, signing
a
off,
wrap.
I'm Lorena.
I'm Mary.
And I'm Zach.
And this has been another episode of Stages Podcast.